Hi everyone! In today's video we're going to be working on a few exercises that address your bones and your balance. These exercises are wonderful especially if you have been diagnosed with osteoporosis or osteopenia, but regardless of that, these are fantastic for all populations. There are lots of different options, so as always let me know if you have any issues with the exercises and I'll be more than happy to come up with another option for you. I hope you enjoy them. In this first exercise, we're going to be going through some hopping. Now, I'll start at the lightest regression and then working our way up to the most challenging option. So always stay where you feel safest and most comfortable. So starting off, we're going to start with very light stepping from one foot over to the other. Now this is working our way across the floor. So starting far away and then coming all the way back over to one side. And of course you can turn around and face the other way. Very easy start, involves a little balance, so if you need to, you can step your feet together from one side over to the next. Now the next progression from here is adding in a little bit of impact. So going from one foot with a bit of a hop to the other foot with a little bit of a hop. So really bringing a little bit of impact from one foot over to the next, traversing across your room. Now, I like to add even more impact from here if you're ready for the next progression, which is leaping from one foot to balance upon landing. Now, of course, if you need to, you can pop this foot down, but I would really like you to try to land on the foot with a little impact and really balance upon that foot there. So going for about 10 hops across the room. Now, moving up from here, really balancing. Land on one foot and stabilize. Leap to the other foot and stabilize. This is where it gets a lot harder, but trust me, it can get harder one more again from here. But doing your best to balance upon that foot on landing and leap on over to the other side. Now, the hardest option for those of you that are up for the most significant challenge is starting on one foot. So here I'm going to be starting upon my right foot, jumping from one foot over to the other side. So these are called zigzag hops. Starting on one foot, staying on that same foot, and traversing across the room. Then I'll come back over to the other side, balancing on my left leg now, leaping over in a zigzag pattern from one side over to the next. And have some fun with it, but do be careful, make sure that you're in a safe place, and that you can always put your other foot down if you need to stabilize. The next exercise is squat jumps. Now I know some of you have issues with your knees, so I will be starting with an option that just takes the knees out of the equation a little bit. So starting off, standing with your feet hip width apart, and to avoid loading up the knees here, instead you're going to bend at your hip joint, so sitting your hips right back behind you, come up to standing up onto the toes and slam the heels into the ground. So hips go right back behind you, come right up to standing up onto your toes and then slam your heels down into the ground. It's a really good option to get some nice impact through those hips, through that lower limb, but also to not take too much load onto the knees. So that's option number one. Option number two, if you can bend your knees a little more, sit your hips right back, poking your bottom right down, and then come up onto the toes and slam the heels down. So a slower option here. Squat down, up onto the toes, and slam those heels back down into the ground. Now, we're progressing from here, adding the arms in. Squat down, wind those arms back, up high, and then slam those heels into the ground, like you're really throwing a tantrum. Squatting down, coming up high, and slam those heels into the ground. If you lose your balance a little, that is a-okay. Just make sure you're standing nearby something so that you can hold on to it for a little balance if you need to. Now, the most challenging option for those of you that can, squatting down low and then adding in a little jump. And you can go as high as you like, but make sure you're getting a nice softening of the knees upon landing so that it's not too jarring through that lower limb. And of course, if you need a different option, there's always the option of using a railing and adding in a little squat, jump, holding onto that railing. These exercises are great to do every day to every second day. You can start by doing maybe 1 to 2 days a week and then work your way up to doing it every day to every second day. Now, with these exercises, I would probably stay with just a gentle load. So maybe start with 10 repetitions and then start to increase up to 15 or even 2 rounds of 15. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing you all at the gym this week. Thank you. Bye.